The laughter echoed through the luxury hotel lobby so loudly that every conversation came to a stop. A powerful millionaire stood with a smug smile, convinced that money had placed him above everyone else. In front of him stood an exhausted maintenance worker whose worn clothes and trembling hands made him an easy target for mockery. The millionaire folded his arms and sarcastically challenged him to call anyone who could save him. "Llama a quien queris," he sneered, certain that no one important would ever answer a man who looked so ordinary. But only minutes later, the ringing phone would reveal a truth that would silence the room, shatter one man's pride, and remind everyone watching that dignity can never be measured by wealth. Before we continue, if you believe that kindness is more valuable than money, that everyone deserves respect, and that second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue bringing you stories that inspire hope and compassion. The maintenance worker's name was Miguel, a 62-year-old widower who had spent most of his life repairing broken elevators, leaking pipes, and damaged electrical systems. His hands were rough from decades of honest labor, and although age had bent his back, it had never broken his spirit. Every morning before sunrise, he quietly entered the hotel through the service entrance, greeting everyone with the same gentle smile. Most employees appreciated him because they knew he would never refuse to help, even if the task wasn't officially his responsibility. Few guests noticed him at all. To them, he was simply another invisible worker wearing a faded uniform. The millionaire, Alejandro Vargas, was famous for owning several international companies and appearing regularly on business magazines. He had built an empire through determination, but somewhere along the journey, success had transformed confidence into arrogance. He believed that expensive suits revealed character and luxury cars proved intelligence. Anyone without visible wealth barely existed in his eyes. On that particular afternoon, he arrived at the hotel expecting perfection. When an elevator briefly stopped between floors because of a technical malfunction, his patience disappeared completely. Although the delay lasted less than 5 minutes and Miguel fixed the issue immediately, Alejandro stormed into the lobby demanding someone to blame. Hotel managers apologized repeatedly, but his anger continued growing until he noticed Miguel carrying his toolbox. Without asking questions, Alejandro assumed the elderly worker was responsible. Guests, employees, and security guards watched nervously as the millionaire humiliated Miguel in front of everyone, criticizing his appearance, his age, and even suggesting that people like him should retire because they were no longer useful. Every cruel sentence felt heavier than the last, yet Miguel refused to answer with anger. Instead, he quietly explained that he had repaired the unexpected malfunction as quickly as possible and that no one had been in danger. His calmness only seemed to irritate Alejandro further. The millionaire mocked him for speaking with such confidence and insisted that someone so insignificant could never understand what real responsibility looked like. Then, almost as if he wanted to entertain the growing audience, Alejandro challenged Miguel to call anyone important enough to defend him. Certain that the old worker had no powerful friends, he laughed loudly and repeated the unforgettable words that everyone would remember for years.